Thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is John Amundsen and I'm the interim city manager for the City of Richland. We are pleased to celebrate the completion of Columbia Park Trail East improvements and appreciate the opportunity to acknowledge all our staff and partners today. Despite it being middle of the pandemic for a large portion of this project, we were able to continue construction on time and within budget, and so that's something that I want to acknowledge and thank everyone for.
It's always a lot of fun to finish something that we think makes a big difference in the community, and most of these projects take on the order of 3 to 5 years to put together, from concept to budget to permitting to construction, and so there's a lot that builds up to this moment. And I'm just pleased to be able to share it with you, and thanks for joining us here. This project is a little bit unique among many that we do, in that this is the most visible activation of the city's complete streets policy. And complete streets is a buzzword within the transportation world that means that a road has features that support users of all types. And so if you look if you take a cursory look at the road in front of you, it's not all about cars. We definitely have the adequate facilities for the cars and a projection of traffic that we expect on the road, but we've made the road accessible and safe to use for pedestrians and bicyclists, and that's what Complete Streets is all about. The road also gives a nod, or is particularly attentive to our context here. We're right along the shore of the Columbia River. This is an activity area for the community. We have a regional park over here to the east, and small business, and the whole Yakima River Delta here to our right, or my right, your left. And so having a road that has features that support the uses that we expect, and the uses that we expect to develop in this area of the city is important. And so that's what we've done. We hope that the features that are in this road make this whole area of the city more livable and vibrant in years to come. What we started with was an old state highway that we actually pulled up, or our contractor Apollo pulled up some panels with some stamps on them that indicated that the road was placed almost a full century ago. So we had a really old road with nothing, no thought or no contemplation that there would be bicyclists or pedestrians or an urban environment around it. And so we've transformed this thing in a very real way. I mentioned some of the features. I'll just add that there's 3 sort of accessorized or enhanced pedestrian crossings on the street at key locations to help people cross the road more safely. What isn't as visible, unless you look real close and know more about the design, is that stormwater is an important part of this project design too, in that before we did the project, there were several points where the old design for stormwater handling would have been to deliver untreated water off the street system directly into the river. And we're all trying to be, we have our programs and are under a permit from the state to make a difference in water quality, and so that's what this project does. All the sort of gravel planter beds and little swales that you see along the road activate that feature where we'll capture water, allow it to infiltrate in the ground rather than to put those contaminants directly in the river. And lastly, this parking lot here to my right and your left used to be gravel, used to just roll off the hillside to the river again, and the State Department of Ecology issued us a grant to improve the water handling and the environmental treatment associated with that parking lot. So all of this costs a little over $5 million. We had a number of partners in the project, the most important of which was the Benton Franklin Council of Governments Regional Planning Organization, and Michelle Holt's here to speak to them, but we're really grateful for their partnership. The Port of Kennewick, which I don't believe has joined us today, but huge partner. We sold them on the idea that they could pay for the undergrounding of all the utilities and make this whole area look really good. And they joined us with that investment. And so all the overhead utilities that, if you'd been down here 8 months ago, lined the road and we're kind of a stain on the visual landscape, they're gone thanks to the Port of Kennewick. And I think it sort of builds on their investments with the city in this whole area, including the Spalding Business Park and Fowler Street and some other things they've helped us do. So we're really happy with the Port of Kennewick. I mentioned the State Department of Ecology, and then the city council dedicated funds from the Stormwater Fund and our Real Estate Excise Capital Fund for this thing. So very much appreciate that. I'll just mention, and I mentioned that these projects take a while. This project in particular, because of its location, had an extensive permitting process. And that's really to protect the water and the important cultural resources in this area, and really happy to have a representative from the Umatilla tribes, because they were instrumental in a consultation process leading up to the project, and then being a partner throughout the project to help us get here successfully. So we're really happy about that. And I definitely want to mention key contributors. Apollo is our contractor. They've done a great job on several projects for us for the city, and this is no exception. And then our city team, Sheldon Williamson was our project design engineer and project manager during construction. Lorraine Daniel was our engineering designer, and Damon Giles was our inspector in the field. The last thing I want to say is this thing took all year to do, and the neighbors in this area, construction projects are disruptive, and for the most part, we had a tremendous amount of support and cooperation from them, and our thanks go out to them. And hopefully now, if we can get past construction and maybe they can get relief from the pandemic, we can see a lot of positive activity down here for them.
On behalf of the Benton Franklin Council of Governments, we want to congratulate the City of Richland on the completion of the Columbia Park Trail Road project. As the Metropolitan Planning Organization for our region, we administer a funding program called the Surface Transportation Block Grant. That fund brings about $5 million a year to local road projects in our region. And the City of Richland was awarded over multiple project cycles $3.6 million to support this project. We're pleased with its completion and want to thank the staff, not only of the city, but of the Council of Governments for the planning, funding, and completion of this important project. It's an asset not only for the City of Richland and its citizens, but also the entire transportation unit of the region. So thank you and congratulations.
First, I want to thank the City of Richland and the construction people. It's truly rewarding, the relationship that we have with Richland, Kennewick, and now forming with Pasco. The whole river, Columbia River, is an archaeological site. And there are resources there that can't be replaced, resources that are a part of the tribe's cultural way of life. And this is where we need to work very closely, not only with the city, but the ports, the county. And this is where education comes in. And today, truly appreciate the work that has been done. This work will never end. Richland will continue to grow. Pasco will continue to grow, along with Kennewick. And there are resources out there yet that have been undiscovered. So that work will never end. And this is where partnership comes in and relationship building. There are laws to follow, state and federal, county. Nobody is exempt from those laws. And this is where it's important for the resource. And construction people like Apollo need to be an example to other construction people. They truly do. because, again, education goes a long way. So I thank and I applaud Apollo for working with us. And I thank City of Richland. Thank you.
Just want to thank you for those comments and tell you how much we appreciate our relationship with the tribes and our partnership and the fact that we are not limited or constrained by what we're legally required to, but that we really do want to partner in our projects, and I think that it helps us be a better community as a result. First off, I just want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. It's a nice November day. Today is a great achievement as we complete the improvements of Columbia Park Trail. This road continues to see more traffic as we introduce new businesses and our citizens continue to look for ways to access the waterfront. Just driving down here today, I saw some new buildings. I haven't been down in some of these parts, and it's amazing how much this area is growing along with the rest of the Tri-Cities. These improvements that we've done today increase safety and multimodal access for drivers, riders, bikers, and pedestrians. It also provides much needed improvements to some of our utilities. Projects such as these would not be possible without the collaboration and support of our partners, and I think you've already heard from them today. I'd like to extend a special thank you to some of the partners that Pete mentioned earlier, namely the Port of Kennewick, the COG, project contractors, and staff. As mayor, I can speak to City Council's commitment to fiscal responsibility, and I'm always pleased when a project is well managed and achieved within our budget, so thank you again for that. We appreciate the neighbors and businesses along the corridor who had to experience the impacts of the construction. So as Pete mentioned, along with the pandemic, we had a lot of disruption down here, and I'm just happy that we're able to work through it and that our contractors tried to lessen the burden as much as possible on our businesses. No one likes to see detour signs, and we realize that it affected everybody. With that, I'll say congratulations to John, Pete, and our project partners, and all of our staff for the commitment to strategize, plan, and improve our transportation infrastructure in Richland. So thank you again.